This documentary is getting him fans. I hate it. If after seeing that documentary and people are, becoming fans of him, that is fucking wild. But I believe it though. I believe it. I was seeing shout out to the homie Omar. I think Omizi. He did a whole video regarding this.
One of the biggest problems with the social media generation is that we think that everything, and I do mean everything, is content. From stuff that is fun, entertaining, and engaging to serious matters of heart, of relationships, stuff that even deals with minors. If there's a way to profit off of it, somebody has probably told somebody to create content surrounding it. And that's exactly what people are saying about this latest documentary about former YouTuber EPD445. If you didn't know who
Sorry, for those who are confused, yes, I have a little Michael Jackson thing. An hour-long silence is broken up by Michael Jackson. Just in case you just joined. Sorry. Anyways.
he was, you would probably think if you muted every time he said the word minor or every time he said something about schmecks, he was just some outlandish and outrageous content creator. But you see, that's the exact problem with this documentary. As I tuned into parts of this documentary, I realized just how unserious the whole EDP culture, documentary culture, and everything surrounding it has truly become.
See this right here, dog? See, this is you have to watch out for, man. You got young ass high school mother. You know what I mean? I mean, let's be.
This was crazy though. Now that I think about it, bro, I said it yesterday too while we were watching. The fact that he got mad at these high schoolers, bro. Now that I think about it, you think he was mad at these kids, these boys specifically, because maybe they could get someone, their age and penguin or not penguin, sorry, fucking EDP can't. He's insecure.
Real, like people, guys, they think about, gonna have a 15-year-old, 16-year-old. Oh man, that walking down the street, she's in high school, she's hot as, you know what I mean? Now, mind you, my gets put out there.
But this phenomenon that we're facing of the prioritization of content as opposed to the ethics behind making said content is getting totally out of hand to the point that even the creators are noting the fact that, hey, we're probably doing something wrong here.
I think there possibly maybe could have been different results in this case if me and Gideon did not confront EDP or take the situation into our hands at all. That's a hard maybe though, and that way obviously there's no content there, so it's like, eh.
And ultimately, it begs the question, why do we keep prioritizing the content over ethics? If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's going to go a long, long way for the channel.
That's what I said yesterday. I don't think Gideon and Skeeter Gene really cared about catching him. They just cared about the views and clicks.
Part of the train early before we get to 200K and you're left out. Now, back into the video. Now, for those of you who don't know, and it'll become abundantly clear as we talk about this, but EDP is a successful or formerly successful YouTuber who grew a platform to 4 million subscribers before he started to solicit inappropriate acts from people who were underage. YouTube documentarian Mike Klum, who has also done other documentaries on failed YouTubers like Boogie, which you can watch my videos on that, decided that he was going to take time and make a documentary about EDP. And quickly, and I do mean quickly into this documentary, you can tell that not only is EDP not remorseful of any of his actions, but also he's very giddy about some of these things.
Why do you think you wanted to have sex with a
I mean, the reason why I wanted to have sex with a 15-year-old is already fucking clear. His innocence away,
Is EDP445 a pedophile? Yes, I believe he is.
I don't give a if you're a minor. I don't give a oh, well, she's just a girl. You can't be doing that. You gotta die, and you don't give a fuck how old she is. You just trying to get your fucking nut in.
And this is where the question marks surrounding.
Yeah, if you're watching this and haven't seen the doc, bro, it's gonna blow your fucking mind.
The ethics behind this documentary start to come into play. Is there even any conversation about the victims of his actions? No. The whole thing was terribly, and I do mean terribly, unserious. It starts off by getting this dramatized version of EDP's whole life story, and they get these kids to play him and have this one black kid sit in like an Eagles hat, and it's a really, really hard and cringy watch. I mean, especially in the beginning of the doc.
I'm not gonna lie, that part wasn't cringy. I feel like I like seeing that in documentaries when they reenact, certain shit.
documentary, the tone seems more to be comedic. And maybe it's because I have a sense of dark humor that I'm seeing these things, but ultimately it just seems that they're very, very unserious. When EDP is describing the initial most viral encounter that really started to spiral his career, he's even saying what he's most regretful about is the fact that he did not bring his pew-pew to the situation.
But the main thing I feel like I regret that day is I didn't bring my Glock off the counter and I didn't shoot those motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
What? Not regretting the fact that you actively sought out somebody who was years old at the time? This documentary
Literally.
is basically victory lap the movie. Now, don't get me wrong. It's clear as day that this documentary has a purpose and a motive to show that EDP is a monster, just outright in all facets. Not just the part about talking to the 13-year-olds, but also the way that he just goes about life. But ultimately, it's the tone that's being judged here. One that makes you really question, why does this even exist? In my opinion, the most unserious moment of this whole documentary is the very ending of it. They get these people from around the internet on which they ask, hey, do you have any advice for EDP? What would you tell him?
He's never gonna learn. All you can really hope, the best advice you can give him is to be even stupider, and hopefully one day he lands himself in jail. Because that's...
Now let's talk about the fact that they chose weird ass people to ask these questions. I'm not talking about Mudahar. I'm not talking about fucking who else was Penguin Zero. I'm talking about fucking Chris Chan, Keemstar. Who else was in there?
the only thing that can fix him, going to jail.
So if I had to give EDP advice, all things considered, I would say consider suicide.
People won't remember him. What has he done to be memorable? Every day of the week.
This dude.
There are a lot of words
Adam 22, yeah.
I can use to describe him, but if I had to pick just one, it's sick.
Dude has nothing in retirement. His assets are a joke. These are the finances of a mental child, let's be honest.
Please leave the kids alone. That's my message. Leave the kids alone, please.
And out of nowhere comes Adam 22 of all people saying that all of the people he would most want to sleep with, his wife and least, and EDP is the last guy. Mind you, that's kind of insinuating that he would want EDP to actively sleep with his wife, just the last one. But ultimately,
That's crazy.
This isn't serious at all. There was also another moment that was totally unserious and showed how much of a goofball EDP is, where he unveils a list of people that he likes and a list of people that he hates. Among the list of people that he hates, naturally, it is a lot of the YouTubers on the commentary side that ultimately would call him out for his actions and shenanigans, like a Moist Critical, who can still rip off about 1 million view video in half a day covering EDP. Yeah, sure, he doesn't like him because he makes EDP look bad, which, hey, brother, you should absolutely be looking bad. I'm gonna contradict myself for a second. What is a little bit funny, maybe in an ironic way, is the list of people that he likes. It features the likes of like Andrew Tate and Sneeko. And to know that you're on a list of guys that EPD445 likes has to really put a thorn in your side if you're anybody who made that list.
What did he?
Oh, he did say, okay.
5 likes has to really put a thorn in your side if you're anybody who made that list.
What did he actually shout me out?
In life. Sneeko, guy is cool as fuck. Sneeko, if you're watching this shit, come on out to Vegas, man. I'll treat you to some fucking tacos.
Okay, what is this list? It's 2023 Red Pill. Where's EDP been? This is such a Red Pill. Ironically, I mean, we're in the Miami setup reacting to it, but he's trolling. He's clip farming. I know, he's clip farming.
And then there's the matter of his girlfriend.
I've finally hit the jack.
Bro, if EDP hit up Sneeko, they would fucking collab. 1,000%.
Jackpot, and I would like to introduce my beautiful girlfriend, Marissa.
Marissa! Oh, fuck.
You know, the thing I really love about Marissa the most is that she's always, she's very thoughtful. She's always thinking about me. She's always trying to make sure that I'm okay. And not to mention, she's also very funny.
My name is Marissa, and I am Brian's girlfriend.
So how is this?
I think...
By the way, it took her 2 minutes to answer that shit. Had me die.
How do I want to say that? It is something that definitely... It's a situation where... not that we don't want...
Yeah, I don't have anything positive to say about that. Now, the reality of the EDP experience over the past couple of years when it comes to him being at the forefront of content, and this will be a theme that I'll discuss a little bit later, is the fact that the only reason why we're here and he's not in jail is because the people that were tasked with or brought it upon themselves to capture him doing these things, soliciting these things, were more worried about prioritizing the content of it all as opposed to the health, safety, and well-being of those that were in jeopardy by dealing with an EDP. Alex Rosen, famed catcher and Chud the Builder supporter, don't worry, we'll get to you in a second, buddy. He botched the first operation. Then Skeeter Jean and Jadion botched the second operation. Even fabled and legendary catcher Chris Hansen called all of it a clown show the way that they proceeded to go about doing these things.
It's an embarrassing clown show. He says the same thing over and over again. The way this investigation, it's not really an investigation, but the way this was conducted makes it unprosecutable. And you've got Skeeter or Skeet or whatever his name is, who's clowning around, taking my lines, I suppose, and murdering them with a guy in a cupcake outfit. There's no serious attitude here. It's a clown show, and it resulted in nothing.
Now, because of the way that this was handled, ultimately, EDP would evade jail time every single time, which was multiple. He decided to solicit any actions from anybody younger. But this is where it gets interesting. And I do mean interesting in a bad way, is that Skeeter Jean was tasked with being a part of this documentary. He was a part of the second sting operation that would have and should have landed EDP on some sort of registry and serving some sort of jail time. But even he can acknowledge that, hey, while we were doing this thing, it seems as though we prioritized the content more than the actual catching.
I think there possibly maybe could have been different results in this case if me and Gideon did not confront EDP or take the situation into our hands at all.
Or if you only wanted views and clicks. Oh, hello.
That's a hard maybe, though.
During the time of said catch, Gideon used a 15-year-old, a real one, as bait for EPD445. Even though...
Yeah, that's still baffling, bro. A real underage girl, minor, as a decoy.
15-year-old kept saying that she felt uncomfortable during the situation. She was pushed and encouraged to make sure that this capture ultimately happened.
I feel like I was a victim of EDP, but I think I was mainly a victim. This is gonna sound crazy, but mainly a victim of Gideon. I feel like for a long time I was his little puppet. I feel like I was his puppet because I was just kind of doing the things he demanded me to do. I feel like I am a victim of Gideon because he encouraged me to keep talking to a pedophile. I told Gideon every single time that EDP would send me dick pics, but he would never tell me to block him or anything.
And capture is a word that I'm using very, very loosely because even in the long and extended video that Gideon and Skeeter Jean would put out in which he would wear a cupcake during this confrontation, a little cupcake costume, EDP's in the video for about 3 minutes total. Now, ultimately, I do think that that is disgusting, but a little bit later in that same exchange with Skeeter Jean and Chris Hansen, a question is kind of posed about the ethics surrounding this whole nature of content.
What is your opinion on Skeeter Jean?
I don't know Skeeter Jean. He reached out to me some time ago to collaborate, and it's not something I would ever do.
Why not?
Because I don't need to. I mean, I don't need to create a clown show with somebody who is merely seeking to get fame and clicks and views on YouTube. I have my own team, my own way of doing things, and it produces justice. The rest of these clowns, they're out there goofing around.
Yeah, it did definitely change my opinion on him a bit because I think he was a bit hypocritical with a statement that he made. He said that I was just doing this for clicks, views, and ad revenue, basically. I mean, are you telling me that he's not doing it for the same reasons?
And ultimately, this has to be one of the worst times in the world for Chris Hansen to be participating in this type of content, especially because he's standing on some soapbox while he has his own documentary coming out about him.
Yeah, doesn't this doc make him look, or movie make him look bad? And I'm talking by him, I mean Chris Hansen. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that.
questioning pretty much the same things that he's, blaming a Skeeter Gene for. And I'm not here to really play this game about who is the best catcher, who is using the police the right way, all these different things of that nature. I'm here to really, slander the whole content idea in general. But I think that the question in and of itself is very, very valid for the fame and the notoriety of it all. Even if it does do some good work attached to it, these people are dramatizing and hyping these things up in order to get the payola at the end of the day. I can't wait for that Chris Hansen documentary to come out because I think it will be very, very revealing. And of course, there are levels to these things. We've called out some of these types of content creators previously on these channels, the ones that go into the supermarket and throw flour on people, get into these fist fights, all these different things. But ultimately, I do want to know from you guys, how do you feel about the nature of the catching genre? From the worst of the worst who throw bologna sandwiches at people or the Vitalis of the world, all the way up to a Chris Hansen. And I know I've said this multiple times during this video, but arguably the thing that I hate the worst about this type of documentary is that it feels as though there's some sort of comeback angle that is going on as the documentary proceeds.
EDP has a bright future. Once the world gets off this hang up that they're on.
This guy pissed me off so bad, bro.
Which I feel like it's gonna blow over. So once that blows over, the sky's the limit with him. He can go as far as he wants to go.
Now, I'm not saying that that is Mike Klum's original intent of making EDP rise back to fame, success, and fortune, but I do want to just ask, what are we doing by putting him back in the spotlight in this fashion? EDP's been memeified for the past umpteen years. He's literally the butt of a lot of different jokes, but as we watch this documentary, he's not remorseful in the slightest. He really doesn't give a damn at all, and he's even deflecting in the big 2026 about all the actions that he's done. And with a documentary like this bringing his name back to the forefront of the conversation, it won't come to a surprise in the near future if he ends up on a Kick or a Rumble or a Pump.Fun creating content again. Ultimately, content keeps getting made about
Bingo card. He is gonna come on these platforms and create a channel watch.
him, and it's not leading to any jail time. It's not hurting him. If anything, it could potentially be helping launch a new career or a rebrand back into the spotlight. Ultimately, this documentary did nothing but introduce this insane personality who is not remorseful of very public actions back to the world and highlight the problem with this type of catching content. I think that this Twitter reply kind of sums up how everybody should feel about these situations. Getting outed as a PDF file doesn't mean shit if they don't end up in jail. Like it or not, a cop has more credibility in the eyes of a judge than some random dickhead YouTuber with a...
Yo, hold on. This is a crazy fucking profile pic.
Camera. Now, there were so many more crazy and outrageous moments on this documentary, and ultimately, I want people to look at it and really get disgusted with this type of content. So I'm gonna be streaming this documentary probably like Wednesday, maybe Thursday. The only way to know is by tapping into the live stream.
Shout out Omar, man. If y'all want to fuck with him, his name's Omeezy. There's his channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you.